As we're well into autumn, we ask, are you cold? Well, here's a nice Scottish Gary to warm your hearts. Also, we fight for 4 points in 4 days.
Hello and welcome to the Big Bank Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Hello. Happy Scotch morning to you.
Thank you.
So we've got a lot to get through, listeners.
Yep.
It's ram-packed, jam-packed, rammed.
It's rammed. It's jam-packed. It's... Yeah.
Okay, let's get on with it.
Just punch it all in and, see what comes out the other end.
Let's cast our minds back to last week. No manager. Couple of big losses.
Yep.
Kev Nicholson still potentially on the cards as manager. We know that the interviews have happened. There's rumours circulating. Up steps Scott Brown's Fleetwood Town at home to Exeter City.
Yep. Not our Scott Brown.
Oh, no, not him. No, sorry. Celtic's Scott Brown. Now
Yep.
Fleetwood's Scott Brown.
Yeah. A man who apparently was voluntarily bald all these years.
Yeah. Got a fine head of hair now. Unless he's had the old Conte. He's gone Turkey
Possible,
for a Conte.
Yeah. Possible.
We don't know. But City managed to get a 2-1 win at home.
Yep.
And it was quite the dramatic victory.
You went 1-0 down, right?
1-0 down. And then a very quick equaliser. So they scored.
Oh, yeah. So they score a goal, which is a massive deflection off of possibly Hartridge or someone.
In front of the Big Bank.
Huge deflection.
Yeah.
And this lad...
Mendes
something.
Yeah.
Mendes Gomez does a slightly provocative dance right in front of the Big Bank.
Yeah.
I enjoy a bit of that. I quite like. I admired the cheekiness of it.
The goal.
Yeah.
The brass balls.
It was good. That was good fun.
Yeah.
And who doesn't like watching dance? Strictly Come Dancing, whatever it's called, is one of the most popular programs in the UK, and presumably he knows about that.
Do you think he was auditioning?
I just think he thinks, well, obviously he must have looked at TV ratings before the match and gone, people like dancing. If I score, I'll do a dance.
Fancied himself some sort of lord of the dance.
Yeah.
Anyway, the dancing shoe was on the other foot.
Yep. Jay Stansfield immediately scores. Yeah.
First goal at St James Park for Stansfield.
Unfortunately, down the away end.
Yeah.
We'll get that Big Bank goal at some point.
Of course we will.
It now.
He's scoring like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's 1-1 half time.
Yes.
And then there's better second half from City. They were kind of all over Fleetwood, weren't they? Fleetwood looked kind of organised. We didn't really have any shots. And I was thinking, where's this come in? And Nicholson, like we said before, I don't want to disrespect him. He's served us well in this period, but I don't think he was full of ideas of what to do.
Perhaps not, no.
But was it 6 minutes of added on time?
7.
7 minutes.
Was it 7? I think of the last night. I don't know. Yeah, maybe 6 or 7.
Plenty.
Yeah.
And then on about the 94th minute,
Yep.
Josh Key, with an absolute bit of magic,
Sails him right down the old River Ex, doesn't he?
He does.
Like a Butts Ferry.
Butts Ferry's attached, though.
Yeah.
Like,
you could still shimmy it if you wanted to.
You could. I wonder how far you'd get around... If you tried to go round the world... I'm off, Ma. I'm sailing round the world.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice, Dan.
Have you got yourself a vessel?
Have you got yourself a seaworthy vessel? I sure have, Mother.
I have. I've just bought Butts Ferry for a song.
For a song. And he's thrown in the rope.
Yeah.
I wonder how far you'd get. I wager not to Exmouth.
Oh, it's logistically kind of a nightmare, isn't it?
It's not really got any sides.
You'd have to keep getting out and attaching it either, to different things either side. It'd be quite the feat.
I just assume you're just like floating down the river, presumably circling horribly until eventually the mud or the tide or you just fill up.
Yeah, it's flat bottomed as well, isn't it?
Beg your pardon?
Probably. Butts Ferry.
Oh, the boat. He must be flat bottomed.
The bus is flat of
Yeah.
Butts Ferry. Yeah.
Anyway.
Why are we talking about that? Anyway,
'Cause
yeah.
he sold him down, but
yeah.
he sold him down the river like Butts Ferry adrift.
Yes.
And
Is Butts Ferry still 20 pence? Or has it gone up?
it's £1.
Is it £1?
COVID.
Wow, that's like 5 times as much as it used to be. That's maths.
It's just pure maths. I was there with my family the other day, and I had I had less than £1 in my pocket, and I thought it was going to be close, but it was nowhere near close.
But back in the day, a £1 would get a family of 5 over.
It certainly would.
But you're not going to pay a £5 to you could just walk round.
I might be right. It might be 50p, but it's definitely plenty. For my family of 4, it was definitely well over £1.
Yeah. Right, well, we haven't got time to talk about Butts Ferry anymore.
No, we haven't.
Because there's lots of other things to say. So what happens? Josh Key crosses it in, and Sam Nombe sort of bundles it in.
Well, I think he's going for
Bit
the
of
old
a back heel.
back heel between his legs.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Everyone goes absolutely spare.
Yeah.
Absolute dream finish.
And yeah, good to win again. Good to have a winner in front of the big bank.
We're asking questions of whether the new manager's there, aren't we? And we're thinking, oh, this would be good for him to see.
Yeah, but apparently he wasn't. So I thought I could see someone.
Yeah.
Like in the
You
just
could,
below
you'd see
one
about
of
8,000
yeah,
people.
but just below one of the directors' boxes is someone who I thought was Tag.
Yeah.
I don't think it even was Tag. I'm a long way away, and I got eyesight's okay, but I'm not that little sailor bloke with a telescope who just stands on the big bank. That's not me.
True.
And there was a guy next to him, and I was like, that's Taggy and Caldwell there.
Because the rumours were out, weren't they? Colwell was
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, I don't think it was either of them. So
Well, he said he wasn't there, didn't he? He said he
Yeah.
watched it on telly.
yeah,
So, anyway, it didn't matter.
No.
He saw it on telly. He saw a good win on telly.
we'll come to him. The good thing about that match was Czech Diabate started
Yes.
and started as if nothing had ever happened.
Yes.
Excellent.
Sweeney was out suspended.
God, he's good, Czech. But he got hurt. He hurt himself again, so we'll come on to this. But he does miss the next match, sort of a bit of a precaution,
Precautionary.
but because of the same thing, So he had to come off towards the end of the Fleetwood match. But promising. Hopefully, he's that's just a minor setback, and he'll be back because it was so good to have him there.
Yeah. So Nombe scores the winner on his 24th birthday, 25th birthday?
Yep.
Birthday. Now, there's a gap. Nicholson comes and claps the big bank and presumably says to the lads, well done, lads, you've done me proud there.
Yeah.
I'll see you on Monday when we have the new manager in place.
Yeah.
Lovely. Cheers, Kev. Nombe says, by the way, this is a dramatic retelling. May not be accurate. Nombe says, lads, it's my birthday. Let's go out on the town.
Yeah.
Out on the town they go. Some sisters are coming down.
Yeah.
They get out to the town.
Yep.
They go to a place.
By the way, this is all allegedly.
So far, everything I'm saying is alleged.
Yeah.
But it was his birthday, and he did go out on the town.
Well, we don't know. That might have been someone else. It might have been some of the people who looked like them.
That's true. That's true. Might look like a 6'6" goalkeeper with half black, half green hair in Exeter.
Anyway, we didn't know whether to talk about this, but obviously we are going to.
Well,
we don't want to We don't want to influence any potential anything.
I think it's just worth flagging up.
If you listen to this, coppers, don't even think about it. There's nothing here that you can get anyone on. All right?
Particularly us.
Because this is all alleged.
I'm just telling a dramatic story.
Yeah.
Anyway, somewhere along the night, about 1:30, we were both out. We were both in town.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
No.
Me lud.
I wish I had. I'd have gone over there and helped out.
So the bare bones of the story is some City players got started on, and
There's some sort of incident which, turns into
Jamal Blackman
a
finished
bit of a scuffle.
Yeah, Spotlight got involved. Like, as in, it's been in the news, so we're not breaking any confidences.
Yeah, that's true. We
It's
don't
been
want
on
to
the
say wrong
internet.
thing. Yeah.
Anyway, that was that.
We don't know if anything's going to happen with this or not. Who knows?
But it's
It might do.
videoed. That's the
Yeah.
that's the kind of extra factor. So X-Web and Twitter kind of go mad. Argyle are delighted. Some suggesting Argyle supporters were involved. Also alleged.
Well, I can say this. I was on my way home at around 3:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Cycling though, so I only heard this as I breezed past them. I heard a good few Green Army chants by groups of lads up on Sybil Street.
Did you?
That is a fact. That did happen.
Because they were at Bristol Rovers away, weren't they?
Yeah.
Anyway, Argyle Twitter delighted and always awful. You know, that mixture of like, it's awful, but I really want to talk about it and share the video. X-Web, not sure how to feel about it all. Anyway, that was that. That's the end of that story. So far.
So far, yeah. That's that. We're just in the interest of providing context for everything and documenting the activities of Exeter City and maybe some of their employees. Who can say?
Who can say?
The best thing about the video, one of the videos, by the way, is it is set to the soundtrack of DJ Otzi. Hey, baby. You know the one?
Yeah.
Ooh. Ah. Which sometimes gets used as a football chant, reappropriated as football chants. But anyway, that's sort of playing as this kind of skirmish plays out.
That's just as Otzi would want it.
It's quite funny.
So there. Oh, the other thing, the main thing that happened on Saturday was the ball got thrown, landed in the big bank, and got thrown down to some lad who tried to head it back on the pitch and absolutely failed miserably.
Yeah, he missed it.
That was my main highlight of the whole day.
Completely missed the header.
So shout out to him because we've all been there. So then Sunday, we've been told there might be a manager announcement Sunday.
Well, basically, we're told that a decision has been made.
Yes.
Aren't we?
Yes.
We know there's a manager.
Yeah.
It's going to be announced. Was it Sunday or Monday?
They said either Sunday night or Monday morning.
Yeah.
It was never going to be Sunday night. Give Palfrey a night off, for goodness sake.
Yeah, nothing, you know.
He was too busy throwing windmills outside the terrace at 3 a.m.
Yeah, do it on Monday. So they did. And to no one's surprise, I don't think, because
it had been rumoured.
Been rumoured for a week or so. Another former Celtic player.
Yes.
And I am best known. He's best known to me from his time as a Wigan Athletic player. Gary Caldwell.
Yes.
Is announced as the new Exeter City manager.
Yes. And you know, that was that.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's a Scottish fella.
I got some texts from Scotch people.
Yeah.
One saying, good manager, mixed results, but he did score against France when he played for Scotland, which we all remember forever. Direct quote from Scotland there.
Right, okay.
I'm reminded that he's, I think, our second ever Scottish manager.
Yeah.
Scottish manager number 1, Neil McNabb.
Neil McNabb didn't work out so well for him, so hopefully better for Gary. We like a Gary on this podcast, so that's welcome.
My Scottish source said they don't think anyone in Scotland has heard of him. So I said the people of Exeter wish they'd never heard of Neil McNabb. Right,
yeah. So here's a very brief rundown of, from what I can remember, of Gary Caldwell's managerial history.
Yes.
He managed Wigan.
Yes.
He won League One with Wigan.
Straight back up from the Championship.
They had a lot of money.
Yes.
Because of parachute payments.
Because they'd come from the Premier League only 2 seasons before.
Spent loads and he got them up. But he won League One. That's a fact. That did happen.
Fact.
Since then, in no particular order, he's also managed Chesterfield.
Yes.
Partick Thistle.
Yes.
Assistant manager at Hibs.
Yes.
That's the most recent one, I think. And then a couple of kind of standing in sort of interim or short-term sort of youth team appointments. Newcastle, somewhere else. Sacked from Chesterfield. They don't think much of him. Sacked from Partick Thistle. They don't think much of him. I don't know much about any of those teams.
Chesterfield.
I don't think there's any point worrying about that too much. We know we're a different sort of style club. Every club's different. We're a different style to those kind of teams. Mm. It's a different run thing. Mm. It might work out completely different here. We don't know.
We don't know. Chesterfield obviously had fallen completely from grace. So it was a bad period for him there.
Yeah.
Bad period for everyone. So that doesn't look good. Partick, he kept them up 1 year, got sacked there, So what I'd say about him is...
You want to hide into nothing at Partick Thistle, though, aren't you?
Of course you are. I mean, any Scottish football team is very difficult, apart from the top
Yeah.
4. Even like Dundee United struggles. Anyway, what is interesting about him, he comes across really well.
Yeah. Personality-wise, doesn't seem a million miles away from Matt Taylor, does he?
No, slightly jollier.
Yeah, definitely slightly jollier.
He's got a zip-up cardigan, not a V-neck cardigan,
He
not a
dresses
V-neck jumper.
kind of the same as Taylor, actually. Very similar sort of like sartorial
Yeah,
choices being made.
yeah.
Not flash.
So he's only 40.
He's 40 years old. Yeah.
So that's quite a lot of managerial experience for a 40-year-old, isn't it?
Yeah, he's young. We don't know a huge amount about his playing style. Some people seem to think he's very defensive. He says he's very attacking. A lot of suggesting that maybe he does 3 at the back or he does 4 at the back. Let's just wait and see on that. I feel like this is a bit of a clean slate for him here. Do you mean?
Yeah.
And we have to I think it'd be helpful for us to see it like that.
He,
I'm sure that's how he's seeing it as well,
Yeah.
But it's considering he hasn't had a huge amount of success in recent times as a manager. It's some appointment for him, isn't it, to get the job as... Now, obviously, I know when you don't pay very much money compared to other teams because of the way we are, but a newly promoted side with a hell of a lot going for us. World famous, well thought of academy.
Yeah.
Supporter owned.
Yeah.
Just been promoted. Play nice football. Well run club.
Good squad.
Etc. Etc. Good squad. Very good squad. Small but good.
Yeah.
So it's a good appointment for him, and some people were quite surprised by it.
He was alluding.
Some of these blogs that I get tagged in about 50 times a week on Twitter, or
all saying that, were they?
Don't even know what they are, but yeah.
He was saying, wasn't he, that they were going to move here. That this was going to be a place he's going to enjoy living.
Right.
That he really liked. He felt he could really build something.
Yeah.
That.
He said all the right things, I think. He said he was really impressed with everything we'd done, but he could see how he thought we could improve. He seems to be really leaning into the motto on the badge, Semper Fidelis.
A bold move,
Which is
Gary.
something that I don't think I've ever even really noticed. But he's now like hashtagging it on Twitter. He's on Twitter, by the way, so our manager's on Twitter now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Hashtagging it on there, saying it in interviews, saying it to the team. And it's like, oh, yeah, I mean, that is the club sort of motto, I suppose, but I barely remember. I mean, isn't it the same as the US Marines or something? That's basically the only thing I didn't even really know what it meant, and I definitely never thought about it, but he has.
I believe it was given to us by the Crown as a motto because we were a royalist city in the Civil War.
Oh, right.
I think.
Well, I don't know if a Scotsman should be going on about that too much. Then.
Well, just because Charles gave it out 500 years ago doesn't mean we haven't turned it into our own thing.
Yes. Interpret it how you want.
I mean, Gary Caldwell's bringing it back because, to be honest, it was dusty and in the back of the cupboard.
Yeah.
You gotta be pretty strong stomach to be a manager on Twitter, haven't you?
Yeah. A lot of them are on there, I think.
Are they?
Matt Taylor obviously couldn't be bothered with that, and that's the least surprising thing ever to see he wasn't on social media. But Gary's on there.
Okay. Well, welcome,
Haven't got
Gary.
the follow back yet, Gary. If you're listening,
Have you followed him?
because he's done a lot of research around Exeter City. He said he's watched all of our matches.
Yeah.
That was part of the thing that impressed. I think he'd done an awful lot of kind of like research.
Yeah.
Has he listened to this podcast in a bit of research?
If not, why not?
If not, you might, there might be something in there. We've done hours of this. Might be something in there that might be useful to you.
Come on, Gary.
And we just want to be friends, really.
He hasn't brought anyone with him yet.
No, but that's being announced today. There's an assistant has been
Oh, right.
appointed, but we don't know who it is yet. It might have already happened.
Oh, right, okay. Dan's looking it up. Yeah. As a side note, we've had a couple of bits of footage of him. So, as Dan alluded to, he's done a team talk that was videoed and we heard it, where he talked about the the Latin motto. And in that team talk, the potential offenders from... No, I'm not even going to say that. The potential participants in the city centre incident were all sat there.
Yeah.
So he's obviously not like, we'll sit outside, lads, I can't have a speak to you. Like,
No.
you know, not that we really thought that, but some people were thinking, oh, you know.
So Gary was a footballer
Yes.
in the early 2000s.
And yeah,
Early
2000s.
mid-2000s?
Yeah, early mid-2000s, yeah.
He knows what it's like
Yes.
to, you know, they're up to all sorts. That's pre-social media. Do you know what I mean? These sort of things happen all the time. These young blokes who are got a lot of money and people, you know, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I just think this won't be a surprise.
This won't be a surprise
some
to him.
players went out and got in a bit of a
Ding dong.
ding dong at a nightclub. Happens all the time.
Yes, anyway, they all sat there. So that was that. And then he had 1 day's training with them.
Yep.
1 day. And then last night it was Derby County away. Long old trip on the coach. More about that in a second. So Coldy steps up. Colditz, Cold Man Winter. There he is. And we got to see him. First outing was at Pride Park.
Yep.
I was there. You were there.
And so
More than that.
1,197 other Exeter City supporters.
Very good. Marvellous away attendance on a Tuesday night in
Yep.
October.
Big, sort of modernish stadium.
Bowl, wasn't it? It was a bowl.
Big one of those bowl ones. Roof on. You're indoors.
Yeah.
Basically, little hole above the pitch where the sky pokes through.
Yeah.
You know, very comfortable place to watch football. If you ask me, and got a lot of character, but you know, whatever.
Did have a nondescript statue outside of what essentially can be described as 2 off-the-peg statues holding an off-the-peg trophy.
Supposed to be Cluffy, is it?
Suppose so.
Anyway,
It's not going to be Paul Jewell, is it?
unlikely. Paolo One Chop.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
Dean Saunders
Did he play for Derby?
certainly did
Okay.
in the Maxwell era. Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? They were owned by Robert Maxwell. Anyway, so Gary puts a team out that's very like what we've seen before.
Yeah, Tim Dieng's back.
Dieng's
Like
back.
I said, Czech's back out again. Sweeney comes back in.
Not suspended.
No, and then Josh Key still in that centre back three. Any other team selections of note? No, still the other 3 lads up front.
Well, you might recall that Harry Lee's come back from loan, so he's on the bench,
Yeah,
which turns out to be very important.
it does.
The bench is looking sparse still, isn't it? Because
Yeah, so Harper on the bench because Dieng back in there as well.
Harper missing some teeth.
Yeah.
And then, Cox and Ed James and that kind of people. Obviously still missing Stubbs, still missing Kyle Taylor, Diabate out. Jay's on the bench.
Yeah.
So, what did we learn? So it was 0-0. That's the first thing to say.
Yes.
I
Think about right.
would say so.
Derby started the better of the 2 teams, but not much in it really. Both sort of sounding each other out a bit.
They looked quite quick on the break, didn't they? But we kept up with them.
What I noticed, well, at least I kind of paying a bit more attention because it's a new thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of looked like to me like perhaps when we weren't in possession that the wing backs were sitting a little deeper, and maybe the defence a little deeper than before.
I think that's right.
We looked to be playing it out from the back a lot. I don't know. I think we do that anyway, but like there was less hitting the channels.
It's hard to know if that's because the manager asked them to do that or because actually Derby were playing very wide, weren't they?
Yeah, and it looked like a big wide pitch, didn't it? I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, so those are the things I kind of noticed. We had 1 effort on target in the first half, I believe. A nice little bit of play and good straight down the keeper's throat from Jay Stansfield.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
half time at 0-0.
Half time at 0-0, which was definitely fair enough. No one had anything much.
No.
Second half, similar. What was...
I thought we were slightly sloppier in the second half when we had the ball.
I
think
probably
first half, Jake Caprice looked excellent. Like, kept skinning his man down the right-hand side and getting balls in, but not much coming from them. Second half, he sort of kept running out of play a bit. We were maybe a little sloppier. Now, the significant thing that you did notice was the first substitution Caldwell makes is bringing off Giovanni Brown.
Yes.
Which I don't remember ever happening under Matt Taylor.
No.
It was always Stano, the one that came off first, so we're really expecting the number 9 to come up. Doesn't. Brings off Giovanni Brown for Matt J.
With 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, I feel like, and probably, if you're playing people in their sort of true positions, that's who, Matt J comes in for Giovanni Brown.
Yeah.
It's the most obvious change, He said afterwards that it was nothing to do with they didn't think he was playing well, and he also brings Nombe off shortly after as well, and it was nothing to do with that, but the fact that they'd given everything,
I mean, they did all look exhausted.
They did, and they worked so hard, and we defended so well.
Yeah.
And the few times there were mistakes at the back, someone else mopped it up.
Yeah.
Hartridge is superb. He made one error, and Sparks mopped that up. Sparks was great defensively again as well.
Yeah.
Josh Key was really good.
Sweeney was solid.
was excellent.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
Derby really were not anything to worry about. It turned out they weren't good. You'd be frustrated if you're a Derby fan. Definitely that performance, because it did not look like a team who were looked particularly likely to win.
No.
Against a
newly promoted
side,
significantly smaller club.
Yeah, and I thought they were blunt in attack. Their crosses were poor. They didn't work. As good as we were in defence, that didn't work. Their openings didn't take any chances that they had.
No.
Poor shooting, poor crossing.
Blackman had to make one important save, which was from a free kick.
Second half made a good save, yeah.
But apart from that, and then he got kneed in the head by his own man making a save.
It looked like, before that, Blackman comes storming out of his box, completely clatters their player.
Was it McGoldrick at that point? Someone like that, wasn't it?
Nowhere near the ball. I was very surprised he got away with that. And you've got to be livid if you're a Derby fan, to be honest, because you could make a case for it being sending off.
Yeah.
Or at very least a free kick. At very least.
Maybe the rest saw something that we didn't, but I don't know.
Looks like we very much got away with one there. But, then gets kneed in the head. I think it's by Sweeney, but it might be by the attacker who
Sweeney,
comes in.
Definitely. Gets carted off.
2
minutes to go at that point.
Yeah.
They add on 7.
Is he sparked out? Because he might, we don't know. Is he unconscious?
He's not moving for a long time. The stretcher's loitering.
There's someone watching that match and going like, oh yeah, you're unconscious now, are you? You've been knocked out. Anyway, they bring the stretcher on, but then he doesn't need it. He sits up and walks off. I've just read on the X-Web forum that someone saw him at service station on the way back, and he seemed fine.
Good.
So
that's good
because we had to hand a debut at that point to Harry Lee, a man who has been 17 for about 4 years.
No, because he was 15, wasn't he, when he first...
Was he? It feels like he's been 17 forever.
Well, he was 17 last night. And, excellent. He did everything that was asked of him.
He had a little bit to do. Like I said, Derby weren't hugely threatening.
No, but
he did really well.
Situation,
he did really well. He's not got a kick on him like Blackman has, but didn't matter. We saw that game out really well.
Yes.
Because the last 10 minutes or so, Derby were all over us, but then couldn't do anything with it. So
0-0.
0-0
pushes us up to 7th in the league.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few teams with games in hand below us.
True.
But
rather have the points on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. We're 7th,
and then
that's good. And
We
but you know, if you just take the last week or the last few weeks, okay, a couple of losses, but the last week, a home win against a team we would hope to beat at home, Fleetwood, and an away point and a clean sheet against a side that we'd be very happy to get a point from in Derby, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying about how, you know, like, I mean on paper. They didn't play very well, but on paper, that's a very good result. Derby away. That's how you, so then you're 7th in the league. That's where you should sort of be if you don't do that kind of thing.
Yeah. And pair it with the Saturday result.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
It is.
So, that is the end of the busy week.
Yeah, very busy.
Caldwell came over and clapped everyone.
Yep.
Got a song. Seems pleased with everything so far.
Yeah.
He was pleased that they tried. He was suggesting it hadn't quite worked out the way he'd hoped it had. Which is fair enough. They had a day's training. You know?
Yeah. And, you know, you're pleased with that. You're pleased with that if you're Matt Taylor, or you're pleased with that if you're anyone.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And
it
was
very nice to have a clean sheet.
Yeah, and it's a good time. We enjoyed ourselves, and you didn't see any goals, but it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of Exeter fans there. Made a lot of noise. It was great.
So
next up, the drama continues.
I don't know if you've heard of either this place or this football club. There's a little village just on the edge of Cornwall.
Absolute drain of a town.
Was it called Plymouth?
Yeah, Plimpton or something.
Plymstock. It's a small village next to Plymstock. And they've got a football team called Argyle.
Yeah.
We'll bleep that out later or something. I don't know how it works.
We'll just have to have one of the explicit things on there, won't we?
We will, yeah.
Yeah, so this finally happening. We're going to...
Home Park, Gnome Park.
We're going down there. Didn't happen last time we were in the same division as them because COVID curtailed the season just
and robbed
before.
us of our promotion and gifted it to them.
Yep.
The dirty pricks.
They are doing rather well.
Yeah, they are. Oh dear. Should we be reasonable about it for a second? I don't want to be. So League One goes like this. Exeter City, I'll go below. Derby County in 10th. They're on 21, as are Barnsley in 9th. Charlton on 22, as are Exeter City in 8th and 7th. Then the playoff places are Portsmouth in 6th on 26th. Bolton 5th, 27. Peterborough 4th, 28. Wednesday 3rd, 30. You'll notice the numbers are going up rapidly. Ipswich Town 2nd, 36. Plymouth Argyle are top of the league. They've got 38 points.
Yeah. From how many games?
From 16.
Yeah.
So from a possible 48, they've got 30.
Quite good, that.
Quite
is quite good.
But don't worry about it. At home, they've got 24 points from 8 games.
Right.
Which is, that's right.
Maximum.
Okay. Well, we like a challenge, don't we, Exeter City?
We do, and, you know, it's a derby. Sometimes that has a bearing on this sort of thing. I don't think, you know, I think we're very much expected to lose this.
Yep.
Look at the, and I think if we lose and don't get battered, I think that's kind of not even that bad either. It is, because you never want to lose to them. But if you take away the rivalry element,
yeah,
you know.
I know what you're saying, but I'll be so...
But we're definitely capable. We're definitely capable of doing something there. We are.
We can take on any team in this league. We've seen that already.
Yeah. We're good. We're easily good enough. To you know, against any of these teams in this league, and it'll come down to the night. Yeah. They're in very good form. We might get battered. We've only had the manager for 3 days.
Yeah.
He's only going to have had a handful of training sessions.
It's slightly to our benefit that the game's moved to Saturday to Monday, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
Extra couple of days.
It means you can go, but I can't go.
Yeah.
So it's the old Monday night, 8 p.m. on Sky.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it hasn't affected ticket sales, but it caught few people out, you know.
Yeah. A bit annoying, isn't it? But it's one of the things you have to live with in football these
I'd rather
days.
have an exciting game, you know. I'm pleased we're playing interesting games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is Monday. So it's Schumacher, the manager, who took over from Ryan Lowe, who's made quite the name for himself already. Like, there were rumours, weren't there, that Matt Taylor's, you know, it was the kind of the merry-go-round, wasn't there? They were talking about Middlesbrough, they were talking about West Brom, they were talking about...
Yeah. So it looks like some bigger teams are interested in him.
Like...
But why wouldn't you be? Look at this, the same situation Matt Taylor was in, really. You look down the leagues when, you know...
Yeah.
Managers are always needed by someone, and then you look around and go like, well, this person's doing well.
Yeah.
Let's have him.
Yeah.
And so, it's, you know, at some point, maybe he'll leave Argyle, but...
Well, he hasn't left yet, unfortunately.
No, he hasn't left yet. But, you know, there's a nice ski slope there. Maybe we'll have a...
That's it. That's all they got.
You can have a go on that. Schumacher.
If you stand on the very edge of Plymouth and look out to the sea and are able to forget what's behind you, it's almost all right.
Yeah, well, there's one bit in there that looks quite nice with that lighthouse.
Yeah.
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 And the rest of it's absolute dump. Bin fire of a town.
Yeah, and that's the good bits. So that's that. So that's the only game next week.
Yes.
Obviously, if Gary Caldwell gets us a win at Home Park, he buys himself a whole season of goodwill.
Oh yeah, I think we could go down after that, and people
we
would still
always
like
could.
it. Yeah.
So,
but I don't mean if he comes away with
anything.
his dignity.
Well, if he comes away with his dignity, that's what we hope for, isn't it? We've got a young team, we've got a slightly fragile team at times.
Yeah.
In lots of different ways.
I mean, the man's played for Celtic, right?
He knows a big match.
He knows about a big derby.
Yeah.
You know, he's also was the assistant manager at Hibs recently.
Yeah.
That's another big derby.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, well placed to... He can say to those players, look, I've played in the Old Firm derby.
He's played in cup finals.
I know what this is like, you know?
He scored against France in the World Cup, apparently, or in the qualifiers. Yeah, I mean, that there's big impetus for him, isn't there? Like, obviously, but I think Matt Taylor would have gone into a game like this just being like Matt Taylor.
Yeah.
That's not denigration of Matt Taylor at all, but there's a real opportunity here for everyone that would actually really benefit.
I think so, yeah. Hopefully. Hopefully Czech will be back.
Yeah.
Hopefully Blackman will be okay.
Yeah.
If we can start that match with Diabate, Sweeney and Hartridge in centre-back.
You'd fancy that defence to be okay.
Yeah, I'd be really happy with that.
And although they're really good League One players, they are only League One players. We're not playing Real Madrid. Like,
no, exactly, yeah.
You look at the numbers and you're like, oh, but as the wheel, you know, no club goes the whole way. I mean, occasionally they do, but in general, something happens at some point.
Yeah.
Why not us?
Exactly. Why not us? Why not Gary?
Why not Gary? Oh, I'd zip his zip right to the top and waggle it around.
Yeah.
I'd
brush his head.
I'd brush his
head.
head.
Like really vigorously brush his head.
Buy him a macaroni pie.
Yeah.
And
Get
say,
him anything.
"Fair
Buy him
play,
anything he
fella."
wants. Get him a Highland toffee.
I would get him a Highland toffee.
And feed it to him.
I would.
Yeah.
Gladly.
If you're interested, is that something you're interested in, Gary? And if you do manage to get as a result,
send us a tweet.
Then tweet us, and we'll see if we can arrange it.
Well,
I could lean over the dugout at the next home match, dangle the Highland toffee down, and you could sort of just like, lick it like a bird with a bird feeder, you know, like.
And all the dignity he'd gained from Home Park would be, you know, magnified.
You don't have to. You don't have to do
It's
that.
an offer.
It's just an offer. It would mean I have to sit in the
dough ball.
The Ivor dough ball stand.
Whatever it's called now. Serco. Servo.
Yeah, Selco.
Norvo. Selco.
Selco, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, Selco.
Plastered in these advertisements.
Yeah, you're right, now you say it. So come on, Gaz.
What is that, Selco? Is that a pharmaceutical company?
Builder's Warehouse.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Similar.
It's massive. It's down Marsh Barton. They just built it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. By the tip.
So what's happened to Tool Station?
Tool Station's still there.
That's just tools. This is
raw
materials.
I think so. I haven't been here, but it's massive.
Okay.
Yeah. You go past McDonald's and the gym and all that under the railway bridge, and it's just there.
Oh, right.
Absolute
Okay.
monolith.
Right.
Yeah. It's okay.
We'll have to pay a visit to it at some point.
We could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Team building exercise.
Build
a
some
tour
stuff.
of Selco.
You know what we should do is have a Christmas lunch, a Big Bang Theory Christmas lunch,
Yeah, okay.
Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
Just us, obviously, just us two. There's no
No.
one else here. I don't know, listeners, if you think like
No one else involved.
there's a team.
Yeah.
There isn't.
There is no team.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
All right.
Gary Caldwell can come if he wants.
He can.
I'll feed him his Christmas dinner over the top.
Yeah. So just let us know, Gary. Just tweet us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, remember, you can tweet us, listeners, if you want to. We're at Big Bank Pod on Twitter. We're the Big Bang Theory Podcast on Facebook. And we're bigbankpod@gmail.com. Maybe you've got a Gary Caldwell story already.
Thanks if you have got in touch.
Where's he living?
I can't remember any.
We've had a few ones. We've had some
have.
Facebook messages recently, I think.
Yeah, we had some about the interview process, the tag and whatnot. Did you see there was an 8-minute interview with Julian Tagg about the appointment of Gary Caldwell, which I sat through, so you don't have to.
Thank you.
And we're
all grateful.
It cuts at one point to this kind of like ominous shot of Tagg wearing a waistcoat, stood up in one of the director's box behind the glass, sort of peering out like Michael Myers or something.
Like a Hitchcock film.
And it's
Face at the window.
it's quite disturbing.
Is it?
Yeah. Anyway,
King of all he surveys.
you don't have to worry about watching it now.
No, we've heard about the best bit.
Halloween Ends is currently on in cinemas. So
Why are they pretending this is going to be the last one? I hate it when they do that. Oh, we've made 15, but this really is the last one.
I know. Well, it's the end of this current kind of like cinematic universe.
Oh, got
and
you.
they'll do another one or something.
Got you. Much like when Matt Taylor left. So we're now in phase 50 of Exeter City FC.
It's a new era.
The Caldwell years.
Mm.
Hope they're many and bountiful.
Me too. Yeah. It's funny, wasn't it, when he came over to clap the supporters and we're there going, yeah, go on, Gary, yeah. And it's like, it's funny, isn't it? Because at this point, it's so early. We don't know how you're going to feel. 6 months' time, we might be going, he might have left to become the Real Madrid manager, or he might have been sacked for, eating a Highland toffee in a
disturbing manner.
Yeah. Mid-game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But fed by an unknown man. Yeah, it was fun, but good. I thought he did everything. So far, I think he's done everything right.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
In a way, it's early days and any old duffer could get everything right, but that's not true. We see so many managers fail to get small things right that make a big difference.
Yeah, so far so good, absolutely. The tone, I like the tone. Only slight tweaks so far, in terms of anything else practical, and he seems like a nice bloke, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll be back next week, Tuesday, I guess, after If You Make It Out Alive. I don't mean because they're scary. I just mean like, airborne diseases.
Yeah.
From Cornwall.
Yep.
Thanks for listening, everyone. My name's Jonathan, here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.